Hey folks, how you doing today? Great to have you guys today. Let me get this going here. Doing okay, great. Folks, another great day in paradise. Glad to see you all join in. Welcome Lynn, welcome Dennis, welcome Jeanette, Ed, Rachel, Judith, Daniel, and Dennis. All happy to have you here today. We're going to be talking about different things. Again, for those of you who may not know me, I guess you all know me by now, but my name's Louis Tornes. I'm your insurance agency owner and certified Medicare insurance planner. Everybody asks me, what is that chimp stuff? That's not a chimp, that's a CMIP. That's a designation that I'm very proud to own, and you get that when you do things the right way. So let's talk about what today's subject is. So we're going to talk about the psychology of closing, why people buy, and how to help them say yes ethically. Uh, very good topic today. But before we do that, of course, we do our usual announcements. So let's get those out of the way real quick. First thing I want to share with you guys is a new edition. And I know I brought this last week, but I was hoping he'd be here today, and I don't see him yet. But uh, let me get there. And it's Kevin, and Kevin is joining us. He will spend some time with me here. We're actually doing a lot of different things here, uh, and I'm excited to have him on the team. So we're going to see more of Kevin in the future. Again, also, while I got you on here, I want to remind you that these are being recorded, and I am posting them to my LTDT Mastery training website on YouTube. So you're more than welcome to look at those after if you need to catch up or redo it again. That's what we're doing here. And one last time, because this is basically the last time I'll be sharing this, but basically all the certifications are now available for Medicare. So make sure you get yourself certified. If you have any issues with that, please feel free to give me a call. You can call me at 941-258-4777, or there's my email. Um, Make sure you go ahead and give me a call. If you need help with any of this, I'm here to help you. Big money in that. So let's get into the actual training. It is, like I said, the psychology of closing. All right, let me go over here. So here's the big idea for today, and the quote of the day is: people don't buy because we convince them, they buy because they trust you enough to act. That means before we close, we need to build a relationship. We need to connect. We need to listen. We need to make the confident feel understood. It's important to do these things. When a client trusts you, they're more willing to ask honest questions, share real concerns, listen to your recommendations, and move forward with confidence. Notice on the bottom of the screen, there's four words that I want you to focus on, and that's trust, relationship, connection, and action. In that order, it is trust creates a relationship, the relationship creates connection, and a connection leads to action. Closing starts before we even ask the question on the decision. It starts from the moment the client feels this person is here to help me. So let me ask, guys, unmute yourself if you want to, or let me know how you feel. We're going to try to do this a little more interactive. So it's important to participate, because I think that's how we're going to get things a little more, that you're going to be able to understand when you ask questions or you participate. So feel free to unmute at any time. So I need to ask you all a question. Okay? Ready? Has anyone ever woke up in the morning and said, I can't wait to buy some insurance today? Obviously, nobody does. People don't buy Medicare because they love deductibles, co-pays, formularies or the insurance card. They buy because of what the insurance represent. I had a client a few years ago who told me, Lewis, I'm healthy. I really don't need this right now. And when I asked him, what worries you the most? He got quiet. Then he said, my father had a stroke. It wiped out most of our savings. I don't want my wife to go through that. And at that moment, the conversation completely changed. He was buying insurance. He wasn't buying insurance, I should say. He was buying peace of mind, protection for his family, security, and the confidence that if something happened, his wife would be okay with it. So let's tie this to this iceberg that you're seeing here. Excuse me, because I'm still suffering from a little bit of that cold that I had last week. This slide shows an iceberg. On the part above the water, it's what the clients talk about: price, benefits, and features. But below the water is something much larger. This is where we decide. The decisions are actually made from below the water. Underneath, there you see things like fear of becoming a burden, security, love for family, peace of mind, trust. Let's think about a smoke detector. Nobody buys a smoke detector because they love smoke detectors. They buy it because they're afraid of losing their home. Well, insurance works the same way. As an insurance agent, our job is not to sell a product. It's to discover what is underneath the waterline. Because when we understand what people truly worry about, we stop selling insurance and we start solving problems. Let me ask anyone, and feel free to unmute and ask, what is the one time when a client brought an emotional reason instead of a logical reason? Okay. People buy emotionally, not just logically. If you only talk about price and benefits, you're speaking to the tip of the iceberg. Great agents will learn to uncover what is below the surface. So let's talk about 6 emotions that most clients have, and it should be part of the discussion. Remember, clients may talk about premiums, co-pays, benefits, or plan details. But many times, what moves them is something simpler. Let's talk about family. They want to protect people they care about. Protection. They want to know if something happens that they're not left exposed. Peace of mind. They want to stop worrying and feel more secure about the future. Security. They want stability. They want to know that they have a plan in place. Confidence. They want to feel that they're making the right decision. And simplicity. They don't want more confusion. They want someone who can make them make the process easier to understand. Don't assume which emotion is driving the client. Guess what? You need to ask questions. You need to listen carefully. One client may care most about protecting a spouse. Another may simply be tired of confusion. And another may be afraid of making the wrong choice. Our job is to discover what matters most to the person and connect the recommendation back to that need. Because when clients feel understood, trust goes up. And when trust goes up, resistance comes down. Have you ever felt any of these which of these six emotions do you hear from your clients? Are you asking them about it? This is what we need to do. So let's talk about the psychology of trust. Let's look at this formula. Trust equals competence plus caring plus consistency. So let's break it down. Compliance, the client needs to believe that you know what you're doing, you understand the product, you understand the rules, and you explain things clearly. But here's the key. Compliance alone is not enough. A client believes that you're smart, and they can believe that you're smart and still not trust you. Next is caring. The client needs to feel that you actually care about them. Okay? Not about the application. It's not about the commission. It's not about getting to the next appointment. They need to feel that this person's listening to me. That this person is what matters to me. This person may have the best interest at heart. And consistency. Do you know what you're going to do? If you say that you're going to call Tuesday, do you call on Tuesday? If you promise to check a doctor, do you check the doctor? If you tell them you're going to follow up, do you follow up? Trust is built on one big moment. It's built on a bunch of small moments over and over again. Oops, behind a slide there. And look at this image. This handshake is with Kevin and a client, more than a sale. It represents the moment when the client feels comfortable enough to move forward. The handshake is earned. It comes after they believe you know what you're doing, you care about them, and you will be there when you say you will. Great closers don't ask, how do I convince this person? They ask, how do I become the kind of person that feels safe saying yes to? So keep that always in mind. Now here's the four roadblocks. The biggest roadblocks, I should say, that stop agents from moving forward. And if you notice something important, most of these are not really about the product. They're about how the client feels. First, the fear of making a mistake. This is huge, especially when with Medicare clients. They're thinking, what if I choose the wrong plan? What if my doctors are not covered? What if my medicine costs more? That fear can freeze people. Sometimes they would rather make no decision than risk making a wrong one. Second, too much information. We sometimes think more information helps, but too much information can create more confusion. If we give a client 10 plans, 20 benefits, a pile of numbers, guess what? They may shut down. Our job is not to dump information. Our job is to make the decision easier to understand. Third, lack of urgency. The client might think something in the matter of, I'll do it later. I have time. I'm not ready. That's where we need to help them understand the consequences of waiting. Without using pressure, we simply explain what happens if nothing is done. And finally, lack of trust. This is the biggest roadblock of all. Because even if you have the right plan, even if the price is good, Even if the benefits are strong, if they don't trust you, they may not move forward. So instead of pushing harder, ask a better question. What concerns you the most? That question is powerful because it gives the client permission to tell you what really is stopping them. And once we know the real roadblock, we can actually help. You cannot remove a roadblock you haven't identified. Make sense? This means yes, this means no. On the slide, I want us to slow down and listen to what the client is really saying. A lot of times the words we hear are not the real issues. The objections on the surface is often the tip of the iceberg. So when a client says, I need to think about it, really what they're saying is, I'm nervous. They're afraid of making the wrong decision. When they say it's too expensive, sometimes the real issue is not the price. It may be, I don't see the value enough. I don't see enough value yet. That means we may not have connected the recommendation back to what matters the most. I want to talk to my spouse. Judith will tell you right now, you don't do appointment, especially in the Medicare world or anything. Everyone in the family should be there when you're presenting, or they should be close by where they can talk to them. But this excuse usually, what it really means is, I need assurance. They want someone else to help them make them feel safe about the decision. When they say, I'm not ready, what they really mean is, I don't trust the decision yet. Notice, I did not say they don't trust you. They don't trust the decision. Okay? So they may trust you and still not trust the decision. That's a big difference. So what do weak closers do? They argue with the words. They try to overcome the objection immediately. Great closers get curious. They ask questions like, tell me more about what's making you hesitate, or what part of the decision feels unclear, or what would you need to feel more comfortable moving forward? Do not fight the objection. Understand the fear of the objection, what's behind it. Because once you understand the real concern, you can actually help the client move forward with confidence. All right, so we're going to talk about some buying signals here. Buying signals are a clue that the client is starting to see themselves moving forward. When a client asks, how does this work? That means they're ready to understand the process. When they ask, when can I start? That means they're thinking about timing. That's a great signal. When they ask, can my husband or wife join? That means they're already picturing how this can help their family. The green light is most important here. These questions are green lights. Now, they don't mean that the client is fully closed yet, but it means that they're engaged, that they're interesting, that they're leaning in. Notice the posture on this lady here. She looks that she's definitely connected. When you hear buying signals, don't keep presenting forever. Pause, confirm what matters, then guide them to the next step. Buying signals tell you when the client is ready to be guided, not pressured. So let's change this now. Oops. Now this slide's about a yellow light. Okay. This means the client is not saying no, but they're not really saying yes. When a client says, maybe, that usually means there's something still missing. They may be thinking of, do I trust this decision? Do I understand it enough? Is this really the right fit? What happens if I choose wrong? The mistake many agents make is they hear maybe and either don't push hard or give up. Don't do either one. Don't push and don't give up. Slow down and ask better questions. Good questions to ask. What part are you still unsure about? What would help you feel more comfortable? Is it the cost, the coverage, or the timing? Great questions to ask. And listen. Maybes are not a rejection. Maybes is a request for more clarity. That's the way you look at it. Okay? So let's change this to a red light. Oh man, look at this expression. Look at the way she's looking. This is a red light. When you see this kind of body language, the client is not ready to move forward. Look at the signs. Crossed arms. That means they feel guarded or defensive. Defensive. No questions, because she's not asking any questions, means they're not engaged or they're looking or they're confused but not saying it. Look distracted. Okay? That can mean we've lost them, gave too much information, or have not connected to what matters. When we see a red light, we should not push harder. We should pause, reset the conversation, and ask better questions. Questions to ask. Did I explain that clearly? What part does not feel right yet? What concerns have I not answered? Would it help if I slowed down and went back over the main point? A red light is not the time to close. It's a time to listen. All right. So this slide really is about what we do as agents. So you see on the left, it's nice and stormy. On the right, you see it nice and sunny. So here's how this works. Your client today may be feeling fear, confusion. First of all, fear. They're worried about making the wrong decisions, confusion. They may have too much information and no clear direction. Uncertainty. They're asking themselves, what if I choose wrong? Now look at the bridge in the middle. That bridge represents our job. Our job is not to push the client across. Our job is to help them feel safe enough to cross. How do we do that? We listen, we ask questions, we simplify the information, we explain the options clearly, and we connect the recommendations back to what matters most to them. And we build little by little, we build confidence. Now let's look at the right. Tomorrow they should feel protected, if you did this right, secure, confident that we transform, that this transformation is what we're trying to create. A great close is not about pressure. A great close is about moving someone from uncertainty to confidence. We are, we got it there. Okay, so we are We are the bridge between confusion and confidence. All right. So here's the LTDT Insurance closing formula. Okay. This process is the way you want to follow. So closing doesn't feel awkward and pushy or rushed. Closing should not feel like a surprise. It should feel like a natural step. So the first thing you want to do is discover. This means we ask questions. We learn about the client's situation, their needs, their concerns, their doctors, their prescriptions, their budget, their family, and their goals. Do not jump straight into selling. If you can't recommend the right solution, if you don't understand the real problem, discovery, give me 1 second here. Sorry about that. Discovery earns the right to recommend. Next one is educate. Educate. One more time. We educate. This is where we explain their options in simple words. Don't use insurance language, not carrier language, client language. The goal is not to impress them with what we know. The goal is to help them understand what matters. A confused client usually doesn't buy. Would you? Confirm. This is the third step. We confirm. Before we recommend, we repeat back what we heard. For example, so what I'm hearing is that you're keeping your doctors, lowering your prescription costs, and avoiding surprises. Those are the things that are important to you. Is that right? Yes. No. Whatever. This step is powerful because it shows that we are listening, and confirmation builds trust.
In the front yard.
Let me shut this down because this is going to keep bothering me. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. All right. Number 4 is recommend. Now we present the solution, but we do not throw it back the plan at them yet. We cannot connect the recommendation back to what they've told us. We need to do that, actually. Based on what you told me, this option makes sense because that keeps the recommendation personal. The client should feel like the recommendation was built for them and them only. Next, finally, ask for the decision. This is where agents get nervous. But if we discover, educate, confirm, and recommend properly, asking for the decision is not pressure. It says, you can say something like, would you like me to help you move forward with this today? It's simple, it's direct, and it's professional. If you help them clearly, you have earned the right to ask. And then finally, we reinforce. After the client says yes, we don't disappear, we reassure them. We explain what happens next. Let them know when the card arrives, or what letters to expect, and when the coverage starts. This reduces buyer's remorse and builds long-time trust. Go as far as calling them up. Get yourself a list of people you need to call the first of the month when plans start, and give them a call. Hey, did you get? Or give them a call 2 weeks after and say, hey, did you get your card? Is everything good? The key thing is to connect and keep building that trust. Great agents don't push people. Great agents make great decisions for people. This formula gives us a simple path. Discover, educate, confirm, recommend, ask, and reinforce. When we follow this process, closing becomes easier, cleaner, and more ethical. Okay. So let's wrap this section with key takeaways. The first one's simple. People buy when they feel understood. A client does not want to feel like this is another appointment, another lead, or another application. They want to feel like you've heard them. They want to know this agent understands my situation. This agent understands what I'm worried about. This agent understands what matters to me. The second, trust comes before closing. You cannot close your way out of a weak trust. Not going to happen. If the client does not trust you, every recommendation feels like a sales pitch. But when trust is there, the client is more open, more honest, and more willing to move forward. Third, questions are more powerful than presentations. This is big. Some agents think they need to talk more to close more. But usually the opposite is true. The better the questions you ask, the more the clients open up. And when the client opens up, you learn what it really matters. Fourth, confidence is contagious. If you sound unsure, the client feels unsure. If you sound rushed, the client feels pressured. But when you are calm, clear, and confident, the client feels safer about making a decision. And finally, great closers serve first and sell second. That is the way LTDT Insurance should work and does work. We're not here to push people. We're here to help guide people. Okay? We're here to help them protect their families, understand their options, and make decisions they feel good about. Closing is not about convincing people to do what we want. Closing is about helping people make the right decisions with confidence. I hope this helps you guys this week as you're talking to clients. Regardless of what you're doing, whether it be life insurance, health insurance, annuities, whatever, this is the way we need to treat people. And with that said, we're going to try this again. Oops. Any questions, comments, concerns? And if you need any support, here I am. So, folks, let me get this thing. For some reason, I keep going out of it. Anybody, open up your mics and feel free to ask. Make sure there's no comments. All right, guys, so you are always the quiet group, I'm telling you.
Hey, Louie, can you hear me?
No, now I hear you. Shoot.
I want you to feel like nobody was responding.
Nobody loves me.
I know. No, you did a great job. You hit a lot of points. It was great. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
All right, good. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Even past. Let me get this thing. Okay, so let's talk about next week. Training again, and this is going to be kind of a little backwards. I probably should have done this one now, but no. Hey, some of you guys are in here. We're going to talk next week about need analysis, and these are things that drive decisions. So obviously, you diagnose before you prescribe. That's next Monday. And if nobody else has anything else, okay, remember you can always look at these things. Kevin, welcome. I just saw that you're in here. Rachel. Okay, good. Hey, Belinda, I didn't see you here before. See, you even made our top list here. Anyway, if there's nothing else, I guess we're done. God bless you guys. Have a great week. We'll talk. Anybody needs to talk to me, feel free to give me a call. And we're basically done. Thank you very much,
Thank
folks.
you, boss.
Thank you,
Thank you. Have
Rachel.
a nice day.
Bye bye.
Thank you for a great presentation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.